Hello everyone, my name is Birdman for obvious reasons, and today I want to speak to you about Watch Dogs 1, the first one that came out in 2014. I wanted to kind of give a retrospective look back on it just because Watch Dogs 2 is coming out on November 15th, and I wanted to kind of look back at this game because I feel like it got a lot of undeserved criticism based on kind of how they sold it. So when the game came out at E3 and everyone saw it, people were blown away because the visual fidelity, the interesting game mechanics of the hacking, it being made by Ubisoft really got people excited because they're like, wow, this looks like a truly next gen game. And then it came out and got a ton of crap because what happens, they kind of downgraded it, they kind of made it, it wasn't as visually interesting and the fidelity wasn't as high as it was that they showed at E3. So a lot of people were really justifiably pissed off that they got misled. But I think that blinded people so much. So every review was like, "Oh, it's not what we expect. It's not what we were shown. It's not what This game doesn't look as amazing as what we saw." But forget that underneath the visuals, the game is still like on PS4, as you can see here. It's like it still looks pretty good, and on PC it looks even better just because you can max out all the visuals. Like I'm gonna be showing most of the footage of is going to be PC at the max setting. See, Watch Dogs is a third-person open-world hacking adventure game where you play as Aiden Pierce, a master hacker who goes on a mission to kind of hack this place, and it gets botched and gets fucked up, and as a result, the guys who hired him put out a hit on him to take him out. But unfortunately, they don't kill him; they kill his niece. So he's now hellbent on revenge, trying to actually, find the organization that did it. And at his disposal, he's using, a phone. Like that. That's basically his main weapon. Now, of course, you're going to have the regular weapons in any third-person shooter, which is going to be, shotguns, pistols, assault rifles, and grenades, and all sorts of gadgets and stuff. But the main weapon is the phone. And how the game kind of works is it's broken up into the third-person aspect. So you have the guns, you have a shotgun and all the stuff that I just mentioned. You also have the parkouring. And what that lets you do is, you're holding R and you press B or X or B or O, whatever you're playing it on. Then you get to, hop over walls and chairs and climb up, stuff, using its parkour system, which is a lot of fun. It lets you kind of get around the environment when you're being shot at and stuff. Then you also, but the meat of it is the hacking. The hacking kind of, because this game is set in Chicago, and they have this thing called the CTOS, which is this mass surveillance system. And what it does is it kind of, there's facial recognition, and as a result, it helps us reduce crime. It's very similar to what the NSA is kind of doing in real life, where they're hacking into every phone, camera, to kind of mass surveillance on everybody. And as a hacker, you get access to this, so it's kind of touches on a lot of real world fears that people have. And as a result of kind of everything being on a network, you connect to everything. So you hook up into a camera that lets you go into another camera or into another camera. You can use your phone to be able to do hack into cameras and do the facial recognition, hack people's bank accounts just by walking beside them. And when you're driving, even you get to change the street lights to green so you can fuck up traffic for people behind you, or make it so that you have a clear path as you're driving down, or lift up barricades or shut down stuff depending on what the situation did. And all that is amazing. It's at your fingertips and simple, and it makes it this amazing open world game, and which is very unique and a lot of fun. And the strengths of this game are the hacking. So you get to hack basically anything connected to a network, ATMs, banks, cameras, and as you go through the game, you get to even start hacking, car alarms to make a distraction, or you get to, hack helicopters to stop them from finding you when the cops are after you, or hack, grenades on certain enemies to make them explode. So really, all this is at your fingertips, and it's done very simple, so you feel so powerful when you're going up against these people. The parkouring really helps, it really helps you get around the environment, so it feels like kind of like you're playing an Assassin's Creed game. And since they're set in in the same universe, it feels like an Assassin's Creed game, but it doesn't feel like it's ripping it off because it feels like it feels right in the right place. And there is, like, if you look up online and stuff, they are like actually connected. This isn't a fan theory. They're straight up like you kill somebody in Watch Dogs that is directly connected to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So it really like the Abstergo stuff, not anything in Assassin's Creed 4. So it's really interesting that what Ubisoft wants to be doing with this series of kind of making a bigger universe. But that leads into the negatives of the game, and the negatives of the game is, well, the fact that the story really isn't particularly interesting, because it's the typical Max Payne kind of revenge thing where your niece gets killed and you're hellbent on revenge. But the main character is a cardboard cutout, so it doesn't really help with that. Like you don't really care for him. Like you meet a lot of different and interesting characters along the way, a female hacker and the cliche, dude hacker. And those guys are way more interesting. Even kind of, one of your guys that helped you on the original mission, ends up coming back, so he's even more interesting. So the main character just kind of walking around monotone, like just kind of you don't really care about what's going on. Also, there's this mechanic in the game called basically the reputation that you have. So if you're going around gunning down civilians and running people over and killing civilians left and right, it increases your reputation towards anarchy, as you can see there, gunning down all the cops and civilians and all that stuff. But if you start saving people, if you're actually shooting people in the hands and legs and disabling them, you get good guy points. And all that really does is when there's news broadcasts that happen randomly throughout the game, it means sometimes the civilians, if they're like, oh crap, this guy's gunning down civilians left and right, I'm going to call the, cops. But if you're a good guy, they'll ignore you because, you're helping the city. But honestly, outside of the random times it happens, there's not really much interesting, there's nothing really that it really does. It's mostly just a pointless add-on. Like, it doesn't affect the story in any way. It generally doesn't affect the open world except for the random moments. So it's almost like I'm not really sure why it's there. And I think one of the biggest problems with this game is it's really fucking easy. Like, it is ridiculously simple to use. Like, once you start using the focus, once you start having, every single gun in the game, you're just mowing down enemies. It is almost no challenge. Like, the second time I played this game, I increased the difficulty to the hardest. I refrained from only using a pistol, and I shot people only in the hands and the legs in order to disable them. So basically, I did every single thing possible to make this game as difficult as possible, and still had almost no problem. So it's just like your difficulty might vary, but it's really that's a huge problem with this game is it's really really easy to do. But outside of all that, when I look at this game and I played it, and I'm going through it a third time just because I'm enjoying this so much. It's one of those games like Assassin's Creed 1. It came out, it showed people, how much you can push game engines to doing these incredibly detailed open world, which, what this game does, it shows Chicago really well. But it kind of got a lot of mixed feelings, even though it was a really big hit. But what it did is it's basically dipping their toes into what we could do with this mechanic. So so all the stuff they're doing, the hacking, the shooting, the open world and how everything's connected, all of those are just like, here's our first attempt. It's like GTA 4. Like, here's what our first attempt is. Then when we do the sequel, we're going to blow everything out of the water. So we're going to get the AC2, we're going to get the GTA 5. And that's really what I hope with Watch Dogs. Now, I want to just run down the list of what I really want with Watch Dogs 2. I want the difficulty to be I don't want it to be super easy. It also doesn't need to be super difficult. Keep all the guns in, but it's something I really hate. I don't like holding 7 different assault rifles that all use the same ammo. I don't see the point. So it's not a big deal if they don't, but I prefer if they limited it down to just, one type of gun. I want more variety in what you can hack and how you can hack, not just for jokey purposes, but like actual gameplay stuff. More variety in the side quests because I feel that there's just basically only 3 and they're just pretty repetitive. Make the driving a little bit better because it was kind of just really weird. You can get a small little buggy and smash into a truck and you'll be fine. But small things like that, and then have a more. It seems like they will have a more interesting main character. I hope they don't go over the top of trying to make this guy cool. And yeah, that's basically kind of what I want, and of course a better story. And I hope that Watch Dogs 2 delivers all that. I kind of stayed, away from it, so I don't really I don't know every single thing that most people would know. I want to go in fresh. So when I do the review, it's kind of like I'm not bringing anything into the review besides the fact that I'm super excited for the game to come out. But that's really what I'm expecting, what I hope comes out with Watch Dogs 2. But overall, Watch Dogs 1, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It does a lot of things good, but unfortunately, the stuff that it does bad is hard to ignore. And I think that it's one of those games where it's one of those games that needs a sequel. A sequel will improve on everything and hopefully not bring any of the bad stuff in. But as of right now, you can get it on Steam super cheap. Like I'm sure you can get everything in the DLC, which I haven't really touched. But even if you just want the basic game, like $25, and you'll just have everything. Like even on PS4, it's even cheaper. I'm sure you can get Watch Dogs for like $10 somewhere. So, but I really recommend it and play it. Just in honor of the fact that the sequel is going to be coming out in a few days, just to kind of get you used to it. Okay, and that's everything I had to say about Watch Dogs. So, Birdman out.